Welcome, dear listeners, to another delightful episode of the Founding Fathers podcast. I'm your host, Benjamin Franklin, here to tickle your funny bone and perhaps enlighten your mind, though, let's be honest, enlightenment is a bit overrated when you can just laugh instead. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ben, how on earth are you hosting a podcast when the only thing we have is a quill and parchment? Well, my friends, I've always been ahead of my time, just like my invention of the internet back in 1776, which was really just a series of very enthusiastic letters sent via carrier pigeon. Today, we're diving into some truly outrageous tales from our glorious past. So grab your powdered wigs and settle in, because it's about to get wild. First up, let me tell you about the time I supposedly invented the first ever ice cream sundae. Legend has it that I was experimenting with a new flavor called revolutionary raspberry, when a rather confused Thomas Jefferson walked in, mistook it for a new type of ink, and promptly tried to write the Declaration of Independence with it. Can you imagine? We hold these truths to be self-evident and delicious. And speaking of Jefferson, did you know he once tried to teach a group of squirrels to read? Yes, indeed. He believed that if squirrels could understand the principles of democracy, they'd be less likely to steal our acorns. Unfortunately, the only thing they learned was how to throw nuts at him. I guess you could say he was a bit nutty himself. Now, let's take a moment to hear from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Franklin's Fantastic Feather Dusters. Tired of dust bunnies invading your home? Our feather dusters are made from the finest feathers of the rarest birds. Well, they're actually just pigeons, but who's counting? With Franklin's Fantastic Feather Dusters, you can sweep away the dust and the guilt of not cleaning for weeks. Now, back to our tales. Have you ever heard about the Great Colonial Bake-Off of 1775? It was a fierce competition where the best bakers in the colonies faced off to create the most extravagant pie. Legend has it that George Washington entered with a cherry pie so large it could double as a hot air balloon. Unfortunately, it did take off, and he spent the next week trying to land it in the middle of a tea party. Talk about a high-stakes situation. And just when you thought it couldn't get any sillier, let's not forget the time I tried to invent the first ever time machine using nothing but a clock, a turkey leg, and a very confused cat. I was aiming for the future, but all I got was a very angry feline and a lot of feathers. As we wrap up this delightful romp through our absurd history, remember, life is like a podcast. Sometimes you just have to hit record and hope for the best. Before I leave you, here's a little nugget of wisdom to ponder. A wise man once said, "If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with nonsense." Thank you for joining me today on the Founding Fathers podcast. If you enjoyed our whimsical journey through time, don't forget to follow and subscribe for more delightful nonsense. Until next time, keep laughing and stay curious.